Hello and welcome back to the Sports Babble. Due to popular demand, we've decided to upgrade our background. Granda Pat's spare room has now got a bit of a facelift. Jake's behind the Chelsea top at the minute, kindly donated to us by Brendan Hagan. But that will change that when Jake gets his Arsenal top in, so he's sitting in front of an Arsenal top. But we will keep your Chelsea top up, don't worry, Brendan. And your Argentina top, I'm actually stealing for myself, and I'll put your Shamiri's one up as well, but we'll come back to that. Quick little thing, as always, lads, you want a haircut, get yourselves up to Belfast to the Cambridge Barbershop, Lisburn Road and Stranmillis. Sean Lawler, he'll look after you, he's a little gentleman. Keep an eye out for them. I'll put a link to them as well to Facebook so you see where they are, but they're the best barbers about, in my humble opinion. And also, we are doing a video, and I'm just going to stick on now the podcast to record it as well, because my video at the minute keeps sort of stopping on us. So we will have a podcast up as well. That'll sort of start in about 2 or 3 seconds because I forgot to hit record. But yes, this week we have plenty on it. We have World Cup qualifiers, we have Premier League preview. I want to talk a little about Real Oviedo. So there is loads happening. But we'll get stuck into it with a bit of World Cup qualifying roundup, not rounders. Jake, I'll let you go first. You got to watch Real Oviedo beat Serbia last night. How did that go?
For my sins, I'd say.
For your sins?
A very disappointing result, but look, there was one moment of class that won the game. Kolarov strike was superb, and Darren Randolph didn't have a chance.
No people would have really.
No, that's it. You know, it rifled into the net. We've seen him do it so many times, but it was heartbreaking. Nonetheless, they're really up against it now. I'd say they have to go away to Wales in the last game.
I think they need to beat Wales, obviously. They need to match Wales next result and then beat Wales. They need Bosnia to only get 4 points, and they need Greece to get beat by Cyprus. I think they need not all of them to happen, or maybe some of them to happen. Some combination of that.
It's going to be difficult, you know, because they're really struggling to score goals. 8 games so far in the qualifiers and only 9 goals.
Yeah.
You know, that is a major issue. And look, we all knew that the end of the road was coming for Robbie Keane and his international career, and we thought, this is great. We've got a young striker who can run the channels, who's very difficult to mark. Well, at least when Arsenal play them. When he plays for Southampton against Arsenal, and Shane Long, and yet it just hasn't materialised. I think he's only scored 1 goal actually in this qualifying campaign. You know, that's as much as Darren Murphy.
They're talking about maybe bringing Scott Hogan from Brentford.
Yeah.
Giving him a shout.
He went for big money actually. He went to Villa.
Aston Villa, sorry, yes, he did.
And hasn't really worked for him at the moment there, but you know, they need to do something.
Was the performance better than the one against Georgia?
Definitely better, but that leads to the question marks. Why did Wes Hoolahan not start? Why did David Myler not start? He got man of the match last night in terms of the Aviva Stadium. The fans voted for him as man of the match. He didn't start against Georgia, you know.
Glenn Whelan did, and he always, I know he gets the brunt of it from the Irish fans, as not being good enough maybe in midfield, and you do feel for him sometimes. It's not obviously great, but he shouldn't be playing maybe. Yeah,
he shouldn't be playing, and at the end of the day his legs have gone. That's what he's good at, is getting around the pitch. That was what he was good at. And now David Myler's a fresher man, and he can make, I suppose, those extra yards when they matter, especially when they defend, because let's face it, the Republic of Ireland are going to be defending a lot more than they're
without Whelan in, I think they've won, haven't a couple of games or more, and they haven't conceded either. So I've seen Ken Early's did a brilliant article, and I've got Ken down there on the time, but in the Irish Times the weekend, it was talking about Martin O'Neill's tactics or lack of tactics, and without Glenn Whelan, they've definitely looked a far better side. And that's not just saying it's not just his fault, it's maybe just the players who come in and, you know, just have taking a chance a little bit better than him or something, but it can't all just be down to the fact of Glenn Whelan. But
that's it. I remember a few years ago in the qualifiers, Glenn Whelan scored a superb from a set piece, not directly, but set up from a set piece against Gigi Buffon.
That's right,
It's a quality goal, you know, and we're forced to eat humble pie.
Did Gilardino score that game? Was that game?
He might have done so.
Towards the end, the equaliser or something, wasn't it that?
The Whelan strike just rings, you know, always comes back into my mind. I suppose a positive point of his career. But look, He was at Stoke playing in the Premier League. He's now dropped down to the Championship with Aston Villa. Aston Villa are not doing too well. The pace in the Championship just wouldn't be as intense, and look, it is reflected in his performances now for the Republic.
I seen a stat against Georgia that they only completed something like 67 passes, which I know it's away from home, but it's at Georgia, and Ireland should beat Georgia. They should be beating Georgia away from home regardless. It just should. Ireland should be, if there were any aspirations to get the World Cup.
Especially Philip, when they took the lead so early, and Shane Duffy actually has come out of the last 2 qualifiers with his head held high.
He's looked solid from what I've seen.
He's done very well, you know. So there are some positives, but ultimately, it's going to be very difficult to get into the playoffs. However, as everyone tells me as an Arsenal fan, what's the point of being in Europe or in European competitions if you're never going to win them? So what's the point of Ireland being at the World Cup if they realistically have no chance of winning it?
Well, that's a fair enough point. I would like to certainly see both the Irish teams, if they got there, instead of just going for a jolly up, which was a good laugh.
Yes.
At the Euros, for those that were there, we weren't. But it seemed like a good laugh. But I'd rather they went to actually have aspirations to try and do something. You can't really, don't think both of them or either would win a World Cup, but if they get to a good stage of the knockout rounds and put it up for the people, then that'll be in it.
That's it. But on a more positive note, Philip, let's head north of Dublin and to Windsor Park. We enjoyed yourself on Monday night?
I really did. Good friends of mine and friends of the show. Patrick's been on, the Renshaws. I take it with them, and yeah, we're always in the sort of the north stand. I'll tell you what, see when you're watching a game like I was for like a show that I'm doing with yourself, being at the ground and being high up at the ground is a lot easier than watching TV, I find anyway. I was able to see a few things. First of all, we'll talk about how this set up, and then we'll talk about Michael Oneill and managers. That'll probably be the next part of our little video, but talk about how this set up. Yeah, they started off with a 4-2-3-1 with Corey Evans and Oliver Norwood. Oliver Norwood, I think, goes underrated with Northern Ireland fans because of how good Stephen Davis is. And then they had the 3 boys, McGuinness, Davis and Dallas, and then Conor Washington in front. And what was obvious to see was the fact that Conor McLaughlin, the other fullback, who was Brunt at left back and Conor right back, he had the free rein to bomb forward. And Michael Oneill wasn't bothered about how far he got forward or whatever. And what happened then was Brunt would tuck in. So it almost went sort of like more like a 3-3-3-1. Right. At one point, you know, that sort of way. I got my maths right there. I did get my maths right, and it was me watching it and trying to be sort of a football. Like, I just love tactics, like, and love all the things. But me trying to watch, I was fascinated by how their shape and how they managed to come into the 3 and then lay themselves like Liverpool bomb forward, but we look vulnerable at the back. And I know it's Czech Republic and that they might be as strong as Premier League teams, Liverpool player or whatever, such and such. But not once did Northern Ireland at all look troubled.
Yes. At
all. And what Michael Oneill has done, and we'll talk about this more in the next part of the video, has done with Northern Ireland has been tremendous. 2 brilliant goals. Each Johnny Evans' little flick over the keeper, classy, like
very good finish.
Really good finish.
And Brunt's free kick.
I called it.
Yeah. Did you?
Yes, I'd done a vlog, but unfortunately my videos messed up me, so I couldn't upload it. But the Renshaws will vouch for me. I called it that's where Brunt was going to stick the free kick, and he smashed in that bottom corner. But even when Johnny Evans looked like he was carrying a bit of an injury, which he had been in the build-up, so in the second half, when Northern Ireland were comfortable, Michael Oneill dropped it back into, he went to 5-4-1, and then again the likes of McLaughlin and I think it was Hodgson that came on, the other fullback, they were given rein to run forward and bomb forward, and then as soon as they lost the ball, watching Northern Ireland's shape, as someone that used to sort of coach as well, watching their shape and how they got back in the shape was fascinating. I haven't noticed that or witnessed that before.
Yeah. Like that's a sure sign, Philip, that they completely buy into the manager's tactics.
110%.
You know, and I suppose you'd obviously say the benefit of an international manager is that if they don't want to buy into your tactics and you're doing well, you're no longer selected.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have that benefit as a club manager. But it's fantastic to see.
Yeah.
But what's this all about that they're going to be docked 6 points because of the results against San Marino?
No, so what happens is all the second place teams go into obviously a group and then they're drawn, and what happened to balance it out, I don't know why the reason is, but someone can point it out to us, UEFA docked the points that you've gained off the bottom place team in your group. Okay. sort of levels itself out, because obviously you could have a team like San Marino who've got no points, but then you could have a team, for talk's sake, say, think of someone, Lithuania, who are pulling points off everyone in their group. Then that means your point tally will drop down. So it's trying to even it out so that you don't have just the teams that have finished with the most points that have come second, all of them getting in the second place, whereas actually a group has been a lot tighter. And you know, that sort of way. So it does make sense in a way, but when I first looked at it, I was thinking, flip, but I think Northern Ireland are going to be alright anyway.
Do you think they'll, if they could potentially come up with, there could be some crackers there in the playoffs? Italy are currently second, Portugal are second.
The new world rankings come out, and if it stays the way it is, they come out in October, and if it stays the way it is, Northern Ireland will go 20th in the world, and if all 8 teams stay the way they are that are guaranteed second, Northern Ireland will be seeded, so they'll avoid Portugal and Italy at the minute. They could get Sweden.
They could also get Iceland. No, sorry.
Iceland are still in it. Yeah. They're still thereabouts. Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
that'll be interesting.
Sigurdsson.
That'll be interesting. I'll be able to go and boo an Everton player. But yes, really happy with. They only had 22% possession, and Czech Republic had 78% possession. But not once did Michael Oneill have a save to make, and it wasn't as if they weren't camped.
But that's what I'm sort of taken from. I know. Spain, for example, had an unbelievable 8-0 victory last night.
3-0 against Italy as well.
3-0 against Italy, and there are some games where there are many goals scored. But if you look across the fixtures, usually there's only about a goal between the teams, which highlights the point at international management, because it's so. The fixtures are dotted out throughout the year. People are happy if their team just defend and win 1-0.
Yeah.
But if again, the challenges at a club is that they want you to be playing a certain way.
Oh, aye.
And you couldn't get away with doing that every week. However, Tony Pulis is doing it.
He's made a career out of it.
Exactly. So it doesn't.
So is Jose Mourinho. He's made a career out of being a complete shithouse. So he's done quite well.
But they're still going to win the league, remember?
Oh, well, that's
not
it.
A doubt about it.
Not a doubt at all about it. And we will talk about the Premier League, don't you worry. But I'm pretty happy with that. The finish was it. So they've had 6 wins, 1 loss and 1 draw, and they've only conceded 2 goals in the whole group, and that was to Germany.
That's fantastic.
So that's not bad.
Fantastic.
If that was Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool defending like that, there, he would be seen as the god of football. They would be going daft, especially us Liverpool fans. But Michael O'Neill's done a brilliant job, and you just sort of fear that this World Cup will be his swan song, and if they get there, I think.
Do you think a club team's going to come in and pick it up?
And I hope it's a big enough club team.
Like who?
A top 10 Premier League team.
I think so.
I'd love it to be if he's going to leave Northern Ireland to go somewhere like that. Yeah, I'd love him to see him try. Brendan Rodgers got the try at Liverpool and he was success, and then obviously a bit of a fallout. But I'd like to see Michael Oneill give the chance.
What if, for example, Brendan Rodgers was drawn back into the Premier League and Michael Oneill was maybe taken into Celtic?
Yeah, and given Champions League football. Yeah, it'd be excellent. Like
with his record for Northern Ireland in European qualifiers.
It'd be interesting.
It'd bring a different dimension to the Celtic, I suppose, performance in the Champions League.
Definitely, I'd like to see both of them. If I'm being biased, I'd like to see both of them in the Premier League instead of Celtic. No offense to Celtic at all, but I'd like to see them both in the Premier League. And again, Rodgers entered the top 10 team, and the same as Michael Oneill.
But we're biased.
We are quite biased.
So Michael Oneill then for you as a top manager?
Michael Oneill for myself. We will come back in 2 seconds. I need to pause this because it always runs out of me after 14 odd minutes. But we will talk about that in 2 seconds. Welcome back. Just obviously, as you know, the format of this, having to pause that. And as I had paused that, Jake has decided he's about to drop some bombshells on me here apparently, so this is going to be interesting. And for those of you who listen to the podcast, that was just me pausing the video, but we're back in the game now. So I put a question to yourself and a few friends and people in work, and I put it up on Twitter and Facebook as well. Is there a better I should put it this way: is there a better performing international manager at the minute across all the
Well, I suppose you would look first of all at the player, the resources that he has, and you have to say, if you look at the other teams that are in second place, some of them I've mentioned already: Italy, Sweden, Portugal, Iceland, Slovakia. You know what I mean. Slovakia have
Turkey, one of those teams.
Italy have numerous brilliant players, you
Yeah.
know. All of these other teams, Wales have Bale and Ramsey, these top performers. Northern Ireland have been pulled together well as a team by Michael Oneill with great tactics, obviously, and it seems to be working well for him. In 51 games he has managed Northern Ireland, he's had 19 wins, and that's a win percentage of 37%. Okay, now Martin O'Neill this morning won't be getting the same plaudits that Michael Oneill has got over the last few days, okay, given the results and the defeat last night to Serbia. Martin O'Neill, of course, he's managed 9 fewer games, 42 games, 16 wins, but 1% better win percentage of 38% than Michael Oneill.
Serious?
Which is a very interesting stat.
It is. You could argue on paper that the Republic of Ireland should be a better side, but if they were to play each other now, they made it 0-0.
I actually don't know. You know, I don't think that the Republic of Ireland have a better centre midfielder than Steve Davis.
No, or a better centre half
than Johnny Evans.
But across the rest of the team,
they should be better.
Brunt, you could argue. Well, Seamus Coleman is probably the best player out of both squads.
Yeah, true.
But it is interesting. Like, I don't think there's an. I think he is. Just you come back into the video there a wee bit, Earthquake. I think he is. And I'm a wee bit biased. I think he is the best performing international manager at the minute.
Yeah.
Because he's if you put it in club terms, it's like, who's in League One? Is it Charlton still in League One? And Josh McGuinness plays him. It's like Charlton just being plucked, fired into a bit of a Premier League. Not like, obviously there's different standards, like, but sort of in a competition. Like, say Charlton being plucked into the Europa League. That's what it'd be like. Charlton being put in the Europa League and outdoing themselves and getting through the latter stage of the Europa League and beating some big teams. They'd never beaten Czech Republic before.
That's right.
They drew them away and then they beat them 2-0 at home.
No, I cannot argue with the performances. Okay?
Yeah.
And I'm sure there'll be numerous more years, hopefully, unless he's plucked away, as you say, with Northern Ireland, and the statistics will continue to improve. But it's just an interesting stat. The last manager of Northern Ireland, Nigel Worthington, had a 22% win percentage.
Yeah.
This man here is 37% win percentage or thereabouts. But Martin O'Neill still has a better win percentage.
Stop, man.
You know? So, you know, and of course it's much better than Nigel Worthington. Maybe we're so enthralled by Michael O'Neill just because of how bad
the euphoria as well.
Worthington.
Who would you rather have? If you had to pick Martin O'Neill or Mike O'Neill to manage Arsenal from tomorrow morning on, right? Arsene Wenger's gone to PSG to manage their club. Not as a football manager, but to manage the whole club, because he loves looking after money. So he's gone to PSG. Who would you have, Martin O'Neill or Mike O'Neill, to manage Arsenal?
I would say that I'd be more excited with the energy of Martin O'Neill.
Martin O'Neill?
Mm-hmm. I remember I actually met Martin O'Neill. I was over at an Arsenal Aston Villa match, and he was coming through. We stayed in the same hotel in London, and he was coming through the lobby of the hotel, and he obviously heard the accents, and he stopped us for a photograph and all, and he was a superb man.
Yeah.
But he gets so irate, you know, and that energy I love. Michael Oneill is a very calm, collected character. And we have that in Arsene Wenger. You know, we want somebody that's going to jump around. If that was the case, you know, if that was the case.
I would have Michael Oneill myself.
Yeah.
But Martin O'Neill has been brilliant. I just think that he's one of those managers now that have sort of just maybe passed it in that sort of way.
You'd be more excited by the youthful exuberance.
Yeah, I just think Michael Oneill seems. I think he's a better coach. Now he hasn't won anything close to what Martin O'Neill has yet. He might get the chance to do that, especially in club level. Like up at Celtic, Martin O'Neill. Well, he made me cry one night. He put me out of the UEFA Cup. Him and Big John Hartson, and I was at the game. And at Leicester as well, he was tremendous, and he was very good at Aston Villa for a while too.
And you know, he got the best out of players that weren't always brilliant. For example, Emil Heskey.
Yeah.
You know, he got the best out of players.
He did, but I would have myself would be Michael. Would you be Martin? That's fair enough. Yeah. This leads us on to our manager chat that we're going to have, and it's interesting that De Boer is in a bit of trouble.
Frank De Boer is 3-1 on to be sacked. Next manager sacked.
There was another podcast, because there are actually other ones. They're not as good as us, obviously, but there are actually other ones that are out there. And there's two lads on it that are actually Crystal Palace fans that I listen to, and one of them, he's a season ticket holder and he is a journalist as well. He actually, this is Monday morning, he was stating that he reckons the board will be gone by the weekend. That there's been a bit of there's something's gone on, or it hasn't really been reported before this weekend's game. He thought that the board would be.
It was 3-1 on, as I say, with Paddy Power that he's going to go. Not that I'm doing a plug for Paddy, even though he's an Arsenal fan.
If you want to sponsor us, so hit us up.
I think that key signing for them was Mamadou Sakho, who only played a handful of games last year.
Yeah.
They got the signing completed on deadline day. He's going to come into the centre of a back three, you'd presume.
Yeah.
And he might rescue his job this weekend, but they're away to Burnley, and we all know how good Burnley are.
Batman Dyche, well, he'll have them set up at Burnley will win that. To call it now. But it's interesting that the board's under so much pressure after 3 games. But as we were talking about him earlier, Michael Oneill, it was a 13 games or something he went out without winning a game. They went like 1,000 daft hours, something stupid it was, without even scoring a goal. And he managed to come through that pressure. Yes. And now Northern fans are getting to see enjoy this now. There's no patience in football.
That's it. The patience is a virtue, and there is no interest in I suppose harnessing a virtue like patience.
No.
Because what they want is results. And you must remember that Crystal Palace, whilst they have spent money in the past, they aren't a top team. Okay, they are not a top quality team.
No, they're not a top 6 or a top 8.
And although they played Huddersfield so far,
yeah.
They played Swansea, okay?
Played
Liverpool, you know, they went to Anfield, but the other 2 games, they were at home and they should have taken something from them, arguably.
They conceded 5 goals in those 2 games, didn't they? Yeah.
You know, it's just, there's too much, and I think Frank de Boer is I suppose, there's a psychological barrier for him. He did well at Ajax, he won the title on a few occasions, but he went to Inter Milan and only lasted a handful of games as well.
85 days in total, that's including the summer.
Yeah. You know, so there is a psychological barrier to overcome for Frank de Boer, and I hope he gets the opportunity to do it, but it does not look good. Like.
No.
And away to Burnley this weekend, arguably they could go 4 games without a victory, which brings us on to Eddie Howe.
Yeah, I'm surprised at this.
3 defeats in a row.
Yeah, they were very unlucky against Man City, obviously, but hasn't started great. And he's been a man that's been potentially tipped to take over, at Arsenal.
Yeah, but you know, the question marks that I have about Arsene Wenger in terms of the players that he has signed are have similar question marks that I have for Eddie Howe. If you think of £18 million for a club like Bournemouth on Jordan Ibe, now there's no doubt in the potential of Jordan Ibe, but he has not.
20 million on Aki.
20 million on Aki. Now, Aki had actually played quite well for them.
Yeah.
Ibe was I suppose, a lurk into the dark with a young player, sort of an unknown quantity.
Yeah.
But I would just question, they signed Benik Afobe, who, you know, is a potentially very good striker. He's strong, he's physical, formerly of Arsenal, and when he was at Arsenal, before he left them, he was Barcelona were rumoured to be interested in taking him as a young player. But yet again, he hasn't scored the goals that you'd expect from, I think he's £10 million signing. You know, if you compare that with Steve Mounier, who signed for Huddersfield, he's delivered already, and you know he scored a key goal, 2 key goals in the first game of the season.
Looks like a bit of a beast
away
as well.
at Crystal Palace.
I would be shocked now if Eddie Howe went this weekend, like obviously, but
well, they play away at Arsenal this weekend, so there's no better opportunity for them to get their first win of the season.
Oh dear. Well, Oatsell and Ramsey played well during the weeks, you know, but they'd carry that on.
Yeah, but they won't be playing in the same positions.
No, that's true.
You know,
that's true.
What Arsenal have is a number of players who want to play in the number 10 position. And you cannot have 11 players on the pitch that play number 10.
No.
I'm surprised that Arsene Wenger hasn't been linked with Manuel Neuer, who would happily play number 10. You know? The bottom line is that Arsenal's squad, which we'll get on to in a moment when we look at this weekend's Premier League fixtures, is not balanced.
Yeah.
They have too many players at the top end of the pitch, and they haven't seen the need to link between the defence and the attack.
They're completely wide open.
Yeah. But final manager that I just want
to talk about. This one's going to break my heart, but go on for it.
Who?
Rafa.
Well, Rafa, I was actually going to talk about Slaven Bilic.
Oh, well then there's 2.
Who is the next favourite after Frank de Boer to get the sack. Now, interesting for West Ham fans, Slaven Bilic has a 38% win percentage for West Ham. I know he's been there a lot less time than what Sam Allardyce was there. But Slaven Bilic's win percentage is still marginally better than Sam Allardyce. Now, Sam Allardyce guaranteed you a place in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And if that's what West Ham want, given that they're still, suppose, adapting to a new stadium,
yeah,
you know, I don't think it is time to sack him.
Yeah, West Ham are a bit of a shambles at the minute. The fans don't like the stadium. The owners, I don't know what was going on with that Carvalho deal.
Yeah.
Didn't come out that well. I'm not even
Now they're
saying
suing the Sporting Lisbon official for libel.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're saying that he was talking nonsense because they submitted an official bid.
He called them the Dildo Brothers. But yeah, Slaven Bilic, I never even thought of him. Mine was Rafa. I know, you just sort of see things and rumours and stuff, and you hear people talking up, but you would think would be in the know, and I think he's going to walk soon.
Well, this weekend they actually play away to Swansea City.
Yeah.
No, I know I'm biased about Paul Clement, but
and Renato Sanchez.
They brought in Renato Sanchez. Tommy Abraham scored his first goal in the previous game. They brought in Wilfred Boney.
Yeah.
They've really strengthened there, and I think
Rafa would have wanted all three. In fact, I think Rafa wanted Tommy Abraham.
He did. Initially, he wanted him from loan from Chelsea. He didn't get him. You know, where did the money go that Newcastle would have got for coming up from the Championship?
Into Mike Ashley's pocket.
Sports Direct.
Yeah, I refused to buy anything from Sports Direct, by the way. Just had a housemate that is a Newcastle fan at uni, Fletch, and he said to me one day actually not to buy it anymore, and well, a lot of people he said because it's quite a bad language. So just from then on, I just don't.
You know, there are serious issues there. Mike Ashley has no. It appears that to the public eye, he wants to sell the club. Yeah, he wants a buyer to come in, but candidly, surely there would have been someone interested in the football club with such tremendous history, such
a fan base,
fantastic fans.
Yeah,
you know, the passion, sell out every week. You know, despite going through so many difficult times, and they've got a good manager there who got his first win of the season. Yeah, thankfully. But yet they aren't prepared to back him. No, you know, and Rafa Benitez is a manager who will be snapped up. That's not mistake ourselves.
His people, like obviously his agent and other things, have released that he would be interested in another job, and especially the West Ham job. I wonder why that's been released or what's been happening, but it's certainly out there in the public domain now that he's interested in another job. So you feel for Newcastle fans because they really have, like, I know he gets a bit of stick Rafa, but they really have a brilliant manager. Yeah. And with a bit of backing they could do well.
You know, I haven't said that about Slaven Bilic's statistics in terms of his win percentage. West Ham host Huddersfield this weekend, the first home game of the season. Yep. Because of the ongoing works and the Athletics, obviously, at London Stadium. If Huddersfield, David Wagner, pulls off another fantastic result, which isn't beyond them, no, going by their first three performances, Slaven Bilic will be going. Because they're David Gold, Karen Brady, the board at and David Sullivan, the board at West Ham are ruthless in the wrong way. Yeah, okay, I know what you mean. They're ruthless in the wrong way. Yeah, they're not. Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. And there are a number of their decisions that I would question. Now, you have to say maybe they signed Snodgrass last year. He was the top scorer before he left Hull City. He hardly got a game. I think he scored 1 goal for them. They signed any sort of player that was going well at a similar level club. Andre Ayew from Swansea. Yeah. You know, these are examples of different players that they've signed. Jose Fonte from Southampton. He's done nothing. You know, they go around and they pluck players from these clubs, and I would just question, you know, is that Slaven Bilic's decision? I don't think it's fully his decision. Not with Snodgrass, it clearly wasn't. Yeah, but if it is, then he'd be gone. That's why I sort of question, you know, who else is involved here?
That's fair enough. We will be back for the third part where I'm going to talk a little bit about Real Oviedo, and then we will round off, maybe 4 parts of this video, we'll round off with a bit of Premier League preview. Even though we'll mention some of the games, but we'll mention some of the other games. The big
draw that'll take place on Saturday afternoon between Man City and Liverpool.
Yeah, because everyone's knackered. We're back in 2 seconds. And we are back. A little bit of a technical difficulty there, but I won't mention her name.
These things always happen, you know, when the other half's involved.
Well, we'll not get
involved. Or not involved, but wants to be involved.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to chat quickly about Real Oviedo, or Real Oviedo, I think I pronounced that. I'm notoriously bad with pronouncing things, and they got a bit of stick off the Dragon Cowboys before about that. But yes, if you don't know, I am a shareholder in Real Oviedo. They play in Segunda in Spain, and they started the season. They've had 3 games so far this season. They've won 1, drew 1, and they lost 1. And they lost to Real Vallecano, who are quite a decent outfit. They were in La Liga not that long ago. They drew with Almeria, another solid team in that division. And then as recently as Saturday, they beat Royce, not Marco Royce. They beat Royce 3-0. And I'm actually going to try and put a link to their goals from that game up, because Toche, who's their main striker, he scored 2 goals, and his first goal was an overhead kick, and it was class. It was stunning. And then David Rocha, he finished the game off with a stunning free kick as well. It was whipped right into the top corner.
Some superb goals.
Yeah, some superb goals. They've had a bit of a change at Oviedo. I have a little notes here. Juan Antonio Anquela has taken over from Herrero.
Right.
Yeah, he used to manage them. He managed them last year. Juan Antonio Anguilla has taken over. He used to manage Huesca. He did quite well with them, and he managed Granada for a while. And they're actually playing Huesca tonight in the Copa del Rey.
Right.
So after this, I want to try and watch it. But yes, he's taken over them, and they're around the club. I would sort of know a good friend of mine, Jose, who would sort of tweet and stuff. He was telling me about different things that are going on in the club. The club's trying to diminish and wipe out all its debt completely, so they can start as close as next season completely debt free. As a football club, you have to come in.
Oh, you have to admire
especially
that.
our 2 clubs.
You have to admire that.
Like we were on the brink, and there's a good book about it. We were on Liverpool of just going into extinction at one stage with Hicks and Gillette. So I don't find rightly what it's like.
Well, I must say that's one positive thing about Arsene Wenger and his run of the football club.
He's been
Arsene
well
Wenger
run.
is well run.
Yeah.
Arsene Wenger's well run. Arsene Wenger runs Arsenal Football Club fantastically well, and I know it frustrates Arsenal fans, but ultimately, what we love doing is watching, and even if that means complaining about the performance afterwards, without the team to watch, life would be very dull.
Yeah.
So we have to admire Arsene Wenger for his astute, I suppose, looking after of the finances. No,
you have to commend clubs like that there that are well run. As a football fan, you can't do anything but commend them. Like, and I know I really want to go over to the Real Oviedo game very soon and check them out. But they're doing quite well. The idea this year, there was a brilliant interview with Carlos Sim, he's one of the owners. I think it was his son. I might have picked that up wrong. Apologies if I have. But he did a brilliant interview there during the week about the club's goals and ambitions. They want to get a playoff spot this year. They just missed out on it last season. They want to get a playoff spot this year. They're restricted with their budget, and they're very, very tight with it, because Real Oviedo almost went extinct.
I think they've brought in Diego Fabrini from Birmingham City on loan, who's a decent enough player.
McDonald Mariga as well. He played for Inter Milan. He's there. They got rid of a couple of players as well, John Enrique and stuff, and different players. They've slashed their squad and been quite cute who they brought in. It's a very, very, very well run for a team that was about to die, and people like myself and other fans bought into it for no reason and bought shares on it just to help them, and to see them being so well run, it's brilliant.
And actually, this weekend they play Numancia, who are second in the league, and they've got a great, if they win that, then they go on to 7 points, and they're really climbing up the table.
Yeah.
I suppose if they beat Numancia, it will be a good opportunity to show what they mean if they want to sort of get into the playoffs.
100%. Jake's just surprised me there, because I didn't realise he'd done his research in Real Oviedo, so I'm absolutely delighted with that. But yeah, so keep an eye out on them. If you can, there'll be other opportunities to buy more shares, and I'd fully recommend it. It's one of the best things I've done. It's only €30, and I own a part of a football club now that could potentially next season be playing Real Madrid. And all these things.
That's true. You be getting us all tickets. That's everybody who subscribes.
Everyone is subscribed. I'll get you tickets.
So if you haven't subscribe and tell everyone you know.
Do not tell my fiance though, as we're getting married and we're buying a house, but I'll buy everyone tickets. So we might as well kick on and sort of finish off with a little bit of Premier League review.
Yeah, going from something that I admire in terms of Real Oviedo's control of the finances to I suppose a club that has been brought into the mire by the reports of a Spanish club who have reported Manchester City to financial fair play for breaching financial fair play regulations because of the money that is spent. And they bought 3 fullbacks this summer. They bought 3 fullbacks this summer, So, because everyone needs 3 fullbacks throughout the course of a season, Pep Guardiola obviously has a similar fetish for fullbacks as Arsene Wenger has for number 10s, but we'll say no more about
Should
that.
merge together, like, have the most attacking team I've ever seen.
Manchester City, Liverpool. 185,000 miles, miles between the two sets of players on international duty.
Yeah.
Remember, it's 240,000 miles to the moon one way, so it's not.
Teacher alert.
It's not short of
No.
trip to the moon. So I suppose I'm sort of in between two, I suppose, points of view here. One, it'll be a fascinating encounter with fast football.
2, you're hoping for a draw.
2, it'll be a damp squib and it'll be a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, I can see Liverpool winning this. Yeah, we've done quite well. I don't want to jinx it, need to touch wood.
No, look,
we've done quite well at the Emirates recently. Coutinho's going to come back in the fold. At the Etihad, sorry.
Arsenal on the break.
I'm just mad. We haven't actually done really that well at the Emirates. We won the other game, but at the Etihad, sorry. Coutinho will come back into the fold. His wee back will be okay. He'll get a special rub. Hopefully a size 9 boot on it. He'll come back in. Oxlade-Chamberlain is there now. Oxlade-Chamberlain. Oh, you know, he's this boy we bought off this bottom half team. But he's in now. Apologies. He's in now. I think it'll actually be a cracking game because both teams will be weary from travelling, so there'll be no defending as there isn't anyway. But I
suppose I posed the question who, on behalf of the England fans, who sort of asked after the game, was Oxlade-Chamberlain even playing? You know,
he didn't have a great game in Illinois, I don't think. No, he didn't. You're hoping that Klopp can get that out of him, but as I said before, I don't think he'll start. I think we'll win because obviously I'm being a wee bit biased being a Liverpool fan, but I just think that we are a bit more solid, even though we have obviously looked a bit bad at the back, than Man City. And just with our midfield against it, it'd be really fascinating. David Silva's flying, who by the way is the 4th highest goal scorer in Spanish football history. Arguably,
for a centre attacker.
Arguably, you could say probably one of Spain's greatest, if not players. Oh, he's up
and
there.
underrated.
Has to be up there.
Underrated.
Big time underrated.
You know, when you mention with Spanish players, you know, David Silva wouldn't be one that people would automatically.
I think he's the most underrated Spanish footballer ever.
Yeah. And
we'll cover that next week when he loses on Saturday.
Yeah, but I have to agree. You know, we've already talked about this, the superb record of Jurgen Klopp against teams, I suppose, in the top 6. Last year, 5 wins, 5 draws, 0 defeats. He has got a way of playing against top teams that can really hurt them. And this is a Manchester City team who fortunately won away at Bournemouth. A last minute deflected goal from Raheem Sterling, which later got him sent off.
When a foul was given that shouldn't have been given.
Yeah. You know, so they were very fortunate, and on a number of occasions, Bournemouth, who have been struggling, looked as if they could have broken them down, and they had a few chances to score goals.
I think Liverpool will win. I think we'll win 2-0.
Interesting stat.
I think we'll keep a clean sheet. We're a lot better defensively than people give credit to. Obviously, people will laugh at me for that because of this. But our statistics are a lot better than what people would think, and I think we'll win 2-0 now. My predictions have been a bit mad and been way off, so who knows? But I'm just confident. I just think they will. I just think they'll win 2-0.
I'm gonna, in all seriousness, I can see your point of view, but I'm gonna go, as always is the case, an early season. Neither team wants to give too much away. It'll be a 1-1 draw.
I would take a 1-1 draw, as I said before. I'm going away at the top 5 or 6. And getting a draw away from home, I think, is always a bonus.
So, if Liverpool get a draw, how many points will they be on?
8.
If Arsenal win against Bournemouth, they'll be on 6, and everyone thought Arsenal were out of the title race.
Exactly.
It's too early in the
season.
It's
far too early, but Man United won the league anyway, Jake. So
that's true. I mean, second place is what we're aiming for.
We'll follow them at Kevin there, so we can see that later. But we will, Arsenal playing Bournemouth, which is what we're sort of talking about. Are you confident, or are your nerves wrecked?
I'm just interested to see, you know, will the August Player of the Month get on? You know, Sead Kolasinac has been voted Arsenal's Player of the Month for August. He only played a game and a half and was dropped for the Liverpool match. So obviously it was a rebellious vote there from Arsenal fans who were just trying to make a point. But then again, who would it be? Who could you vote it for? I want to see Kolasinac started in his natural position, which is left wing back. I want to see centre halves playing, including Mustafi, Koscielny and Mertesacker if he's fit, Bellerin in right wing back, and I want to see Lacazette starting
every game.
Attack. Yeah, every game. You know,
We have Europa League this week.
It's beyond question. We have Europa League this week.
I'm in Anfield, on Wednesday night. Yeah,
fantastic.
very, very excited.
I know, it'll be brilliant.
Yeah.
For Sevilla.
I
know it'll be good. That'll be a good game, but sure, we'll have a chance to talk about that next
week.
We will.
Sorry, go on ahead.
Yeah, Arsenal to win this one 3-1.
3-1.
Yep. Lacazette for 2.
I'll go with an actual 3-0 for Arsenal.
Okay.
I think Arsenal will bounce back. Özil had a tremendous week with the German national team, and I know you've said he's all playing a different position, but his confidence you'd like to think will go up. Aaron Ramsey as well, playing alongside the best player in the world, Ben Woodburn. So he obviously
so at least he'll have learned something.
He'll have learned something from young Ben.
How to stay in your position, maybe how to run back when you've lost the ball.
Yes. I hope for the video's sake that Arsenal actually win, so you don't explode on me on Saturday. I'm all for an Arsenal win in that game as well. There's a good game at Goodison Park.
Fantastic game at Goodison Park, and chance for Everton to bounce back.
And sort out that Ross Barkley transfer. It's going to be happening in January.
Yeah, an ongoing affair, but we'll not even get into Ross Barkley because for fear he might just pull out of the transfer. But we're not talking about Chelsea here because I think even if they tried to sign me, I would have turned them down. The fact of the matter is Everton need to win at home. Tottenham having given away, I suppose, 2 points in the game against Burnley. Chris Wood scored in the 92nd minute. They need to win as well. It all builds up for a good game. But and there's one sure thing. Wayne Rooney might be going a lot quicker around the pitch after being caught for speeding.
Well, that's a Rooney. I don't even want to go into that. He's a tube.
I know.
How do you think that goes? Do you think Everton will get that result there, or?
Tottenham are a tough team to put to bed. Everton. Everton up going forward. There's still question marks there. Sandro Ramirez, Wayne Rooney.
But the new lad from Hajduk Split as well.
More of an attacking midfielder though than a striker. I'm going to go for a draw.
A draw. I'll go for Tottenham win. I think they'll win quite comfortably. I think they also have the most underrated player in the Premier League, Moussa Dembele, playing for them, which I want to talk about in the podcast at some stage. Who's the most underrated players that we don't think? But I just think Tottenham will win that by a couple of goals. I know Everton have spent well, and this isn't a bitter Liverpool fan at Everton. I just don't think they'll challenge the top 6 as we all thought. I know they got that draw away at Man City, but I think Tottenham will go up there and do a number. But I could be wrong, and then I'll just come on the video.
No, Chelsea beat them quite comfortably.
They did. Everton didn't look great that game, but we'll see what happens. I
think a draw there. Leicester City, Chelsea.
Another decent game.
Another decent game at 3 o'clock. Great to see these games at 3 o'clock.
We like the 3 o'clock games.
So, what is sorry?
Leicester don't have the Portuguese midfielder because they were 14 seconds late.
14 seconds late, They
have to pay his wages still, I think.
Do they?
I think the transfer... I think the transfer has been... I think it's completed, but his registration wasn't sorted or something.
So he's not going to be playing for them?
I don't think he plays for anyone now until January. I might have picked that up wrong.
That's crazy, You think 14 seconds.
They should let them away with that. Something should be sorted for that.
Yeah, something should be sorted. When you think of what's going on in FIFA, with Sepp Blatter and all, I think 14 seconds over a legitimate transfer wouldn't be too bad.
No.
But maybe they're trying to tighten up the thing, and you can't blame them for that.
Chelsea will win this.
Chelsea will win it.
Yeah.
But Leicester score.
No.
Vardy not to score.
No, I think Chelsea are a bit... They had that game against Burnley all over the place, but I think now the Cahill Bakayoko should be in there, David Luiz will be in there, Rudiger, Azpilicueta, Moses is back fit, Hazard will probably play, Morata will play.
Morata's in very good form.
Exactly.
He scored good goals for Spain and the internationals.
See, when you actually talk Chelsea's 11 through, you're sort of thinking, oh, hang on. Yeah, I think Chelsea will be alright. They'll win away at Leicester. In my opinion, they're the best tactical manager in the league anyway, and I think
it'll be a draw.
Oh, another draw.
A day of draws. Maybe I just can't make up my mind.
Maybe you want loads of draws at Arsenal.
Yeah, this is my own personal agenda. Van Dijk's back.
Van Dijk is
back for Southampton. There's something to look out for.
Yeah, be interesting. Liverpool obviously keep an eye on him. I'd like to think they'll go in for him in January. Probably not get him. But yeah, it'd be interesting. See how he's back and see how he plays.
There's a certain team in Spain that are widely known and are, I suppose, I would say will struggle this year at the back. They've got Mascherano playing, and someone like Van Dijk might actually suit them.
What'll just happen is Liverpool say, you'll get Coots in summer, we'll have Van Dijk now. And then if it was me, I'd have Liverpool going by Raheem Sterling back. But again, that's another chat for another day.
Another chat for another day.
So Southampton, Watford, I'll go for a draw on that one.
Draw, I'm going to go with a Southampton win, even though Marco Silva's had such a good start. I'm going to go Southampton win of 3-1.
Lovely. Stoke against Man United.
No Premier League team that has lost at Stoke City has ever won the Premier League.
Up to Stoke.
And that means Arsenal have no chance because they lost to Stoke. And Jesse has scored a goal. I wonder how many more goals he'll score this season. Probably very few.
He scored one at the Emirates.
Score one at the he has to play Arsenal again. I almost forgot about that. But Stoke City, Manchester United. This could be Manchester United's first big test.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Mark Hughes will want to...
He always wants to put a number on them.
Yeah, he'll want to put a number on them. And to be honest, I don't think they'll have enough, but I think they'll scare them. I go 1-2.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go with you on that one as well. I think 2-1 to Manchester United, but it'll be tight.
Yeah.
Interesting game. Actually, it's on at 5:30 as well, which is decent.
Yeah, great.
We'll round off these last two just before the video cuts out. Burnley Crystal Palace quickly.
Burnley Crystal Palace. Burnley to win comfortably.
Agreed.
2-0.
Swansea.
Chris Wood to score.
Swansea Newcastle. Renato Sanchez home debut.
Wilfred Boney to come on for the bench and get a goal on his return to Swansea. I fancy Swansea there. Sorry to say it.
No.
And finally, Monday night's game: West Ham against Huddersfield. Under Klopp Mark 2. Are you going to go for the big Huddersfield win?
Yeah.
I'm going to go for West Ham just because they have to win and it's the first home game of the season.
Yep. That's fair enough. That has been another episode of the Football Babble with the Sports Babble. I'll probably have to change that, but yeah, we've got our little wall all made up. We're going to change that round to an Arsenal top. But obviously, Brent will keep the Chelsea top here. Anyone else want to donate any football tops to us, let us know. I certainly would like a Real Oviedo one very soon. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like us on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, share all our posts, tell all your mates. Yeah.
And most importantly, enjoy the football this weekend.
Enjoy the football this weekend, and we'll see you again next week. See ya.
Good luck.